It all started with one small mistake, one stupid, careless mistake that changed everything. If you'd asked me 6 months ago, I would have told you Claire was it for me. Full stop. We'd been together for 5 years, lived together for 4, engaged for 1. She was smart, beautiful in that casual, effortless way, and God help me, I thought she was loyal. We bought a 2-bedroom colonial on the edge of town, shared a stupid matching coffee mug set. I ran a custom woodworking business out of a small shop downtown. Claire handled brand marketing for a bigger company, always buzzing around with new ideas and dinner parties and work socials. It worked. She was the outgoing one. I was the one who'd rather spend Friday nights watching documentaries or sanding oak beams. I trusted her so much it makes me sick to even say it now. It was a Saturday night when it happened. Claire had a company party. Some client was retiring. Big venue rental, free bar, the works. She said spouses weren't really invited since it was mostly industry people. Fine. I wasn't going to die without dry sliders and lukewarm speeches. Around midnight the front door rattled, and Claire stumbled in, laughing a little too hard at nothing. I caught the smell of tequila before she even spoke. She kicked her shoes off by the door, muttered something about how cold it had gotten, then shrugged out of a black leather jacket and tossed it on the couch. I stared at it. That wasn't her jacket. Claire's real jacket was burgundy suede with a ripped lining she'd been promising to replace for 2 years. This one was heavy, masculine, wide shoulders, faint cologne scent, not hers. Definitely not. You get a new jacket? I asked, my voice coming out way too casual. She waved a hand, not even looking at me. Borrowed it. Ryan lent it to me. I was freezing. Ryan. I didn't know a Ryan. She never mentioned a Ryan before. My gut twisted hard, but I smiled, nodded, helped her upstairs like a good fiancé, tucked her into bed while she mumbled half-coherent apologies for being a party animal. While she slept like the dead, I stood there staring at that jacket, hard hammering so hard I thought I might crack a rib. I don't know what made me check the inside. Just impulse, bad instinct. There it was, a stitched name tag near the collar, Ryan M. Marketing Division. I backed away like it was radioactive. All night, I sat downstairs staring at the walls, playing every memory of the past few months like some broken projector. The late meetings, the new work friends, the way she'd been smiling at her phone a little too much lately. But maybe it was innocent. Maybe she really had been cold. Maybe Ryan was just being polite. Maybe. The next morning, Claire acted like nothing happened. Woke up, made coffee, joked about how much she drank. I played along. I didn't ask about Ryan. I didn't ask why she smelled like expensive cologne I didn't own. I just kissed her on the forehead and told her I was heading to the shop. Instead, I drove aimlessly for 2 hours, radio off, mind racing. I needed to know. But more than that, I needed her to tell me without me dragging it out of her. If there was even the smallest chance I was wrong, I wanted her to prove it, to confess, to do something that showed I hadn't completely wasted 5 years of my life. Days passed. She never mentioned Ryan again. Never explained why she came home wrapped in another man's jacket like it was nothing. And the worst part? She looked so normal, brushing her teeth beside me, laughing at shows we watched together, talking about wedding plans like nothing had shifted under the floorboards. I started pulling away without even realizing it, slept on the couch more often, took late-night runs I didn't really need, spent more time, working late, at the shop, even when the orders were caught up. Claire noticed. Of course she did. Is everything okay? She asked one night, sitting cross-legged on the couch, wearing my old college sweatshirt, looking for all the world like the woman I'd proposed to on a snowy bridge last Christmas. I wanted to scream, wanted to grab her by the shoulders and shake the truth out of her. Instead I lied. Work stress, I said. I'm fine. She smiled that small, relieved smile, moved closer, curled against my side like always. And I let her. Because sometimes the lie hurts less than the answer. At least, until it doesn't. I didn't realize how good Claire was at pretending until after the jacket. For the next week, life carried on like some sick play. Rehearsed lines, choreographed smiles. She kissed me goodbye in the mornings, sent flirty texts at lunch, picked up my favorite beer on the way home. If I didn't know better, I would have believed every second of it. But that jacket sat in the back of my mind like a shadow I couldn't shake. It got worse when Lauren showed up. Lauren had been Claire's best friend since college, loud, Wild, the kind of woman who flirted with bartenders for free shots even when she was in a relationship. She was the life of every party. Also the reason Claire had ended up in a few messes back in the day. Minor stuff, drunken nights, embarrassing photos, but nothing that ever stuck. I didn't hate Lauren exactly. I just didn't trust her. She came by under the excuse of wedding planning help, arms full of magazines and Pinterest boards and a bottle of overpriced wine. But the way she looked at me that night, like she knew something I didn't, it made my skin crawl. We were all sitting around the living room when Lauren blurted out, way too brightly, "I'm so glad you guys are still rock solid. I was worried for a minute." I frowned. "Worried about what?" Claire laughed, this short, awkward burst like she was trying to cover it up. "She's just being dramatic." Lauren's eyes glittered. She sipped her wine. "I just mean, long engagements can be risky. You know, doubts creep in. People do dumb things." She looked directly at Claire when she said it. Claire went stiff beside me. My gut twisted tighter, but I forced a smile. "Good thing we're boring, then." Lauren grinned, all teeth. "Right. Totally boring." After she left, Claire was weirdly clingy. Kept touching my arm, laughing too hard at stupid jokes, pulling me close while we watched TV. I didn't pull away, but inside, I was screaming. I wasn't stupid. Lauren knew something. Worse, Lauren wanted me to know there was something. The next day, Claire left early for a work conference 2 towns over. Said she'd be back late. A few meetings, an overnight stay if things ran long. I should have let it go. I should have been the bigger man. Waited for real proof. Instead, I did the stupid thing. I texted Lauren, "Hey, thanks for coming by. Claire really loved it." Less than a minute later she replied, "Of course. You two are perfect." I stared at my phone for a long minute, then typed, "You seemed worried the other night. Is there something I should know?" 3 dots appeared, then disappeared, then appeared again. Finally she sent, "If you trust her, trust her. Don't dig if you're not ready." I swear my heart stopped beating for a second. I didn't reply. Couldn't. The dam was breaking, and I wasn't ready for what was about to come flooding through. Claire came back late the next night, exactly like she said she would. She smelled like hotel soap and cheap coffee. Dropped her bag by the door, yawned, kissed me on the cheek, acted exhausted. I didn't even ask how the conference went. What was the point? Her jacket, her real one this time, slipped off her shoulders as she flopped on the couch. I caught sight of something inside her bag. A hotel receipt. 2 nights, not one. Under 2 names. Mine wasn't one of them. I didn't say anything. Not yet. Not because I was scared of losing her. Because I was scared of losing the illusion. There's a special kind of hell in knowing the person you love most might already be gone, and you're the only one still playing house. That night, I sat awake on the edge of the bed, watching her sleep like a stranger. I had no proof that anything happened in that hotel room. No photos. No texts. Just a jacket, a slip of paper, and a gut feeling I couldn't shake. But something inside me broke anyway. I wasn't going to beg for the truth anymore. I was going to find it. And when I did, I was going to make damn sure they remembered it. Lauren made the mistake. Not Claire. Lauren. It was almost funny, in a gut-wrenching kind of way. After all their careful lying, their secret whispers, it took one stupid slip for everything to come crashing down. It happened on a Sunday. Claire had gone out grocery shopping. I stayed back, claiming a headache, just so I could be alone for a while without pretending to be okay. Lauren swung by, said she had a wedding cake catalog Claire needed to see. She was buzzed, I could smell the wine on her breath even at noon, and dropped her phone onto the kitchen counter when she rifled through her tote bag. She found the catalog, showed me a few options, chattered on about venues and dresses and colors while I nodded like a zombie. Then her phone buzzed. She didn't notice. I did. A single message, glowing on the lock screen. When's he finding out? No name. Just that. A cold shock slammed through me. Lauren noticed me glancing at the phone. Snatched it up. Too late. Something raw, something dangerous must have flashed across my face because she stumbled over her words. Muttering about getting back to her car. Something about brunch plans. She left fast. Way too fast. And she left her phone behind. I should have tossed it on the couch and waited for her to come back. I didn't. My hands moved without asking my brain. The phone wasn't locked, just a swipe screen. I opened the Messages app, and there it was. A thread between her and Claire. My stomach twisted tighter with every word I read. Claire. You swear he doesn't suspect? Lauren. Not unless you come home wearing Ryan's boxers, face with tears of joy, face with tears of joy. Claire. OMG, stop, I'm dying. Lauren. Honestly though, you deserve a little fun before being locked down forever. Claire. Right? One night doesn't change anything. I'm still marrying him. He's perfect. One night. One night with Ryan. Little fun. Like I was a coat she could put on when she got cold. My vision blurred. I actually had to sit down because the room tilted. More messages. More filth. Lauren coaching her, helping her cover the tracks. Telling her to act normal. Telling her men. Forget faster if you smother them with love after. I don't remember putting the phone down. I don't remember walking upstairs. I only remember staring into the bathroom mirror, gripping the sink until my knuckles turned white, and thinking, she's not the person I proposed to. She's not even close. The girl I loved was gone. Had been for a long time. I was just too stupid to see it. When Lauren came back 20 minutes later, she was pale and shaking. She must have realized. She didn't even look me in the eye. Just mumbled, "Forgot my phone," grabbed it off the couch, and bolted like her hair was on fire. I didn't say a word. Didn't need to. She knew. And soon, Claire would too. I didn't confront her that night. Or the next. I needed a plan. Not for revenge. Not yet. First, I needed clarity. Proof that couldn't be twisted into "you misunderstood," or "it wasn't like that." So while Claire slept, I pulled the jacket out of the closet. Still smelled like cologne that wasn't mine. Still had that stitched name tag inside. I folded it carefully. Placed it in a flat-rate box from the post office. And along with it, I added two things. A copy of the prenup Claire had signed when we got engaged. The one she barely skimmed because she was so sure we'd never need it. A brand new wedding invitation. Not ours. Mine. To someone else. Someone better. Someone who would never make me feel like a damn ghost in my own life. I addressed the box to Claire's office. Overnight delivery. Because when you're ending a fairy tale, you don't wait around for the ending. You write it yourself. I mailed the box on a Wednesday morning. Claire kissed me goodbye at the door, hair still damp from the shower, smelling like vanilla and lies. "Love you," she said, eyes shining like she actually meant it. I swallowed the bow rising in my throat, forced a smile. "Love you too." I didn't. Not anymore. Maybe not ever again. The next day, I stayed home from the shop, told my assistant I had food poisoning, sat on the couch, TV off, staring at the clock, waiting. Tick, tock, waiting for the world to tear apart. Claire usually got home around 6. At 5:30 my phone buzzed, her name flashing across the screen. Incoming call. I didn't pick up. A minute later, another call. Then a text. "Claire, what is this? Claire, where are you? Claire, we need to talk right now." I leaned back, heart hammering against my ribs like a drum, and just watched the messages pile up. Panic looked good on her. At 6, the front door burst open so hard it rattled the frame. Claire stood there, holding the flattened box in one hand, the prenup and the wedding invitation crumpled in the other. Her face was twisted, not sad, not apologetic, furious. Because she knew. The game was over, and she didn't get to win. "What the hell is this?" she screamed, slamming the papers down on the coffee table. I stayed seated, calm, detached, like I was watching a storm through bulletproof glass. "You tell me," I said. She stalked closer, eyes wild. "You think mailing this to my job is funny? You think humiliating me in front of my coworkers is some kind of joke? You humiliated yourself," I said. "All I did was give you a heads up." She flushed deep red, hands trembling. I almost pitied her. Almost. "I made a mistake," she said finally, voice cracking. "It was one night. One night. I was drunk. It didn't mean anything." I stood up, slow and deliberate. "You lied to me for months," I said, each word slicing deeper than the last. "You laughed about it with your friend. You planned our wedding with one hand and stabbed me in the back with the other." Tears filled her eyes. Fake. Crocodile tears. Maybe real ones too. Didn't matter. I was already gone. "I love you," she whispered, reaching out. I stepped back. "Claire," I said, cold and final. "I don't know you." She broke then. Sank onto the couch, sobbing into her hands. Begging. Pleading. Telling me it was a mistake, that we could fix it, that she'd do anything. But it was too late. She had gambled with everything we built, and she lost. You signed the prenup, I said, dropping the final blow. You remember that, right? Her head snapped up, confusion battling through the sobs. I almost smiled. Everything you walked into this relationship with, you leave with, I said, and nothing more. Realization dawned across her face like a slow, cruel sunrise. The house, the wedding funds, the accounts we built together, all protected, all mine. Claire had come into the relationship with $6,000 in savings and a leased car. She would leave with exactly that, and I wouldn't lose a minute of sleep over it. I loved you, she whispered, voice hollow. I nodded. I loved you too, I said, until you made sure I couldn't. I walked past her then, out the door, down the steps. Didn't look back, not even once. That night, I stayed at a cheap motel off the highway. Smelled like old smoke and bad decisions. Felt more like home than the house Claire had poisoned. I stared at the ceiling for hours, letting the silence settle over me like armor. I wasn't angry anymore. Not really. I was something colder. Something stronger. She thought she broke me. She didn't realize. She just set me free. A week after I mailed the jacket and the prenup, after Claire's meltdown in our living room, after I walked away without a backward glance, I planned the real finale. The public reckoning. The part Claire never saw coming. I texted her parents first. Hey, can we have a quick dinner? I need to clear the air before the wedding stuff gets any bigger. Claire's mom, Diane, was thrilled. Of course, honey. We'll host. Bring Claire. I told her Claire was already in. Lie number 1. Then I texted my parents, my sister, a couple of mutual friends, Lauren too. I made it sound casual, an engagement dinner, a final touch point before the invites rolled out. I let them all think it was normal. That night, I walked into Diane and Paul's pristine suburban home carrying a laptop and a folder fat with receipts. Claire was already there, sitting stiffly at the head of the dining table, pale as paper. She knew something was coming. She just didn't know how bad. Diane hugged me like nothing was wrong. Paul clapped me on the back. My mom smiled. My sister smirked. She always hated Claire, though she never said it out loud until after everything blew up. Everyone sat around the table, plates of appetizers untouched, glasses of wine half full. Claire kept glancing at me. I let the silence build. Finally, Paul cleared his throat. So, big updates? Wedding stuff? I smiled. God, it felt good to smile again. Yeah, I said. Big updates. I set the laptop on the table. Opened it. Pulled up the screenshots I'd saved. Text after text after text. Claire's name at the top of every one. Her messages with Lauren. Her dirty jokes about Ryan. Her cruel little remarks about how easy I was to fool. The room went dead silent. Nobody breathed. Claire's hands shook so hard she knocked over her wine glass. Red wine spilled across Diane's white linen tablecloth, spreading like a dark stain. Lauren walked in late, swinging the front door open like she owned the place. She froze when she saw the screen. Saw everyone staring. Saw Claire's face. Lauren opened her mouth to say something. Probably a lie, probably a joke, but I beat her to it. I have proof that Claire cheated, I said, voice steady. And Lauren helped her cover it up. A gasp from Diane. A sharp intake of breath from my mother. Paul's face went the color of wet cement. Claire tried to stand up. It wasn't. It's not what it looks like. I laughed. Actually laughed. Don't, I said. Don't insult everyone here with another lie. Lauren found her voice. You had no right going through my private messages. I turned on her so fast she flinched. You had no right helping your best friend blow up my life behind my back. Lauren, shut up. Good choice. Claire's mother started crying. Real, chest-heaving sobs. Paul just stared at Claire like he didn't even recognize her. After everything we did for you, he muttered, voice cracking. After everything. Claire started pleading, first with me, then with her parents, then with anyone who would listen. It was one night. It didn't mean anything. I made a mistake. I love him. Please, please, please. Nobody moved. Nobody hugged her. Nobody defended her. For the first time in years, Claire was completely, utterly alone. I pulled the final blow from the folder. A copy of the hotel receipt. 2 nights. 2 names. Not mine. I tossed it onto the table. Claire's face crumpled. She tried to say something, probably another excuse, another spin, but Diane snapped first. You ungrateful fool! She shrieked. You had everything! Everything! And you threw it away for what? For some disgusting betrayal? Paul stood up too. You're not the daughter I raised, he said, voice low and broken. He walked out of the room without another word. Diane followed, still sobbing. Claire collapsed back into her chair like a puppet with its strings cut. The room emptied fast after that. Lauren bolted out the door without saying goodbye. My parents gave me hugs that lasted too long. My sister whispered, "Good for you," before slipping me a small trinket she swiped from Diane's hutch as a weird joke. In the end, it was just me and Claire. Her face was ruined from crying, her makeup streaked, her hands trembling. "Why?" she whispered. "Why did you have to destroy me?" I picked up the laptop, the folder, the pieces of what used to be our life. "You destroyed yourself," I said. "I just made sure no one else got caught in your wreckage." Then I walked out, left her sitting there in the ruins. Didn't even close the door behind me. Driving home that night, windows down, cold air slashing across my face, I realized something. I didn't feel broken. I didn't feel angry. I didn't even feel sad. I felt free. Claire had burned down the future we were building. And somehow, in the ashes, I found something better than I ever thought I deserved. A second chance. A real one. On my terms. No lies. No second-hand jackets. No second-hand love. It's funny how 6 months can change everything. How a life you thought was carved in stone can crack, crumble, and blow away like dust. After the dinner, after the receipts, after Claire's mask finally shattered in front of everyone she cared about, everything moved fast. Cleaner than I expected. Colder too. The prenup held. Thank God I pushed for it. Claire fought at first, threatened to lawyer up, to smear my name, to tell people I emotionally abandoned her. But after a few stern letters from my attorney, she folded like wet paper. She kept her leased car, her $6,000 savings, and the clothes on her back. Nothing more. I got the house, the wedding deposits, the accounts, even the damn dog, though we didn't have one yet, because Claire wasn't ready for the responsibility. Ironic, right? She moved out 2 weeks after the blow-up, left half her stuff behind, tried to send Lauren to pick it up. I boxed it all, marked it trash, and set it on the curb. Never saw her again. The first month was rough. I'm not gonna lie. There were nights I sat in that empty house, drinking too much cheap whiskey, trying to figure out how the hell I missed it. Trying to figure out what parts were real, if any. Memories twisted. Moments that used to feel warm started feeling rotten. That time she forgot our anniversary? Not work stress. That random Vegas trip with Lauren? Probably not so innocent. The cracks had always been there. I just loved her too much to see them. Or maybe I loved who I thought she was, not who she actually turned out to be. 3 months after the fallout, I met someone new. I wasn't looking. Wasn't even open to it. It just happened. A networking event for small business owners. Long night. Boring speeches. I ended up at the bar, trying to quietly drink myself into tolerating one more panel on digital branding. That's when I met Samantha. No games. No bullshit. Just easy laughter, sharp wit. A smile that didn't hide knives behind it. We swapped stories about business disasters and bad first dates until they kicked us out at closing time. I didn't even realize I was smiling again until she called me out on it. I told her about Claire, not the whole ugly saga, but enough to be honest. She didn't flinch. Didn't pity me. Just nodded and said, "Sometimes you have to lose the wrong person to find yourself." I didn't believe it that night. I believe it now. 5 months after the fallout, Samantha and I made it official. Not rushed. Not desperate. Just right. I told my parents, told my sister, told no one else. Not because I was ashamed. Because it was mine this time. Real. Untouchable. Sacred. 6 months after the fallout, I sent out wedding invitations. Not flashy ones. Simple. Elegant. To a small circle. People who had stood by me. Who knew the full story. And yeah, a petty part of me smiled when I heard that Claire's parents got theirs. Samantha wanted to leave it out. Be the bigger people. I wanted closure. We compromised. No personal note. Just the invite. No drama. Just a silent line in the sand. We're happy. You're not invited. You never will be again. As for Claire? I heard through the grapevine she tried to make it work with Ryan after the fallout. Big romantic gestures. Desperate second chances. It lasted about 6 weeks. He ghosted her right after she lost her apartment. Lauren? She moved 2 states away. New job. New scene. No real friends. No real loyalty. Like attracts like. Some nights, I wonder if Claire still thinks about me. If she ever feels even a fraction of the shame she should. But I don't lose sleep over it. Not anymore. I don't need her regret to heal. I don't need her apology. I've got something better. A life she can't touch. A future she never deserved.